I'm Tamara Huff, and I am a second-degree black belt. I've trained for 22 years with American Taekwondo Association, and I have spent the last 10 years doing self-defense. This is my 10th year for mid-continent libraries. I do self-defense for children and families, and this program is for self-defense for families 8 and above, but young children can also learn from their older siblings and their parents and sit back and watch what we're doing here. I have my assistant with me today. We are going to do some of what I teach in the classroom. And what I teach in the classroom, there's 3 different scenarios. One is if somebody grabs you, a frontal grab with a hand or a 2-hand grab. The other is if they grab you around the waist or the front. And the other one would be if they grab you from behind. And we will do a quick fourth if I get thrown on the ground. So I will try as we go through to talk about the differences that maybe younger people can do versus adults in some of these situations. So a 2-hand grab, usually, if you're okay with me taking off my gloves, a 2-hand grab is where the fingers come together, where the thumb and all the fingers come together, and that's where someone grabs you. And right through there is the weak link. So grab me. So right here is the weak link. So where all his blue fingers come together, right in here is the weak link. So I can make a fist and break through that weak link. So we're going to talk about a fist. So make a fist for me. So a fist makes your arms really, really strong, right? Okay, no loosey-goosey, just really strong. Then we're going to do an elbow. An elbow is very strong. So show me your elbow. Bam, bam, bam. That elbow is really strong. So I love elbows, right? Elbows are a really good defense. Up there and backwards. So, and then I'm going to talk about your feet. I know that if somebody grabs me, I'm not going to go with them. I know I'm going to go this direction. So I also want to be able to move my feet. Of course, we have carpet here, but you want to be on the balls of your feet so you can actually move when you're running, so your knees don't lock up and you don't get ACLs like I have in the past. So grab my wrist, just with one. Yeah, this is a 1-hand grab. So I'm going to grab, he's going to grab me, I'm going to really make a really strong fist, I'm going to reach over, I'm going to pull my elbow towards him, and I'm going to run this way, because this is an offensive move, not a defensive. Offensive! All right, I want you to yell something. What would you yell?
As in what?
Yeah, call 911. Help. Help, I think is kind of, yeah, help is a good one. Help is a little bit overused sometimes. So what about, I say, fire, fire, as long as it's not in a crowded building. You're fine with that. So 911, call the police, fire, anything to get anybody's attention, right?
Correct.
Right. So if somebody were to grab me again, I'm going to make that fist. That's a really important part. I'm going to reach over and grab that fist. I'm going to bring this elbow up to like I'm going to hit him in the face, but actually I'm going to be running that direction, and I'm going to scream, call 911! Right? Okay, now I'm going to do it to you, because we're going to see it go in this direction. So you're going to make that fist, you're going to reach over and grab it, or is it this one right here? Okay, make that fist, reach over and grab it, you're going to go that direction. There you go, call 911. Awesome. I really want to see that elbow come up, though. Okay. One more time. There you go. Good one, good one. All right. So do a 2-arm grab. Okay. Now, this is if somebody comes up and grabs me. They really want to drag me this direction, right? And I know that being my size, 5'4", and he's 6 foot, taller than me, bigger than me, that he can easily grab me and pull me off my feet. So just take a couple steps backwards. No, when you're grabbing me, just take a couple steps. There you go. So I'm going to maybe fall in this way. I'm going to step on that toe. I'm going to reach over, grab my fist. Ah! Call 911. So I'll do it slow motion. Okay? So he's got both of my arm here, both hands. Then in between here, that is the weak link. I make that fist. I'm going to reach over and grab that fist. I'm going to bring that elbow up towards his hat, and I'm going to take my feet and go this way. And that twist my feet like I'm playing Twister, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, one more time. Ah! And screaming is very important. 911, I don't know you, call the police, fire, anything to get somebody's attention. Now I'm going to grab here. Mm-hmm. You're going to make the fist, reach over and grab it. There you go. Awesome. Now, people who are littler than me, a little bit smaller, 8 years old or above, this might be kind of tough. So when they're grabbed like this, and somebody grabs them into them, I want them to grab like this. I want them to kick the shins. Bam, 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 right? Those shins hurt. I don't care how big you are, how muscular you are, how tough you think you are, those shins hurt. So those little people can kick those shins, as can adults. Bam, 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 screaming all the way because you want to, number one, create noise. Number two, draw attention. And number three, get away. Because if you're drawing attention and making noise, number three, they're maybe possibly going to let you go and you're going to get away. You run to the nearest house. And one thing we're going to talk about right now, thank you, is to talk about being together, being in the space together. Always be with somebody if you can. There's power in numbers, safety in numbers, especially if you're younger. And a lot of teenagers that I teach are, well, my parents, they always want to know where I'm at, blah, blah, blah. Turn the tables on them. Tell them it's important for you to know where they're at. Mom, where are you going? It's your safety. And make it important to you. Safety is something I think that we should make important to us. So every morning you get up, you do what? Brush your teeth? Yeah, I brush my teeth, yeah. You brush your teeth, that's normal. You just think it's a normal activity. At night you brush your teeth before you go to bed. You eat normal, at normal times during the day. But do we normally think about self-defense? Do you think about your self-awareness? Being where you're at and the space and the time that you're at. We have our seat belts, other things to keep us safe. We need to think about self-defense. We need to think about our own safety. So, safety in numbers, letting your parents know where you're going, letting your friends, you adults, you have friends, you have children, you have spouses, boyfriends, girlfriends, let them know where you're going. Let's talk a little bit then about your spatial, your peripheral vision, if I can say that right. Looking around you. Yes. Very good. Looking around you, being able to see behind you, having those eyes in the back of your head. Now, of course, we don't have eyes in the back of our head. So you have to be able to look. You have to be aware of your surroundings. So whenever you get out of the car at the mall, don't immediately get on your phone. If you're walking down the street, don't immediately get on that phone. However, that phone is a good asset to have because it has the emergency number on it that you can quickly dial at any time, or star 55, which is the emergency number to the sheriff's department, or 911. So the phone is important in those situations. But we are very consumed by our social media that we have right in front of our face at all the times. And I'm really bad at it because I'm certain to trip over something when I've got that phone in my hand, which is a number one safety problem right there. So when you get out of your car, you're walking somewhere, make sure you have your phone handy. But I would really suggest that you don't, unless you're talking to somebody on it, and at least have them on speaker to where you can see your surroundings, which I think is fine too. But just to be certain that you are aware of your surrounding and who's behind you and what's coming in front of you. Because if you're walking down the street, let's say you're walking down the street and there comes a car and you're a little bit suspicious of it, I would be in a well-lit area. If I'm walking my dog or whatever, I'm not real big on walking on the sidewalk. If there's a lot of bushes and cars, I will walk in the middle of the street. Whatever makes you feel comfortable and you can feel safe. Now let's say if someone's coming towards me, I'm going to be looking at them in the eye because I want a good vision of them. I want to see who they are. I want them to know, I see you. I am not afraid, but I keep my distance. I know that I know where my good space is. So if you get too close, I am not opposed to going, stop, I don't know you, you're too close to me. You need to back up. You need to back up. That's okay. That's okay to do that. I have been not ashamed to do that a couple of times myself, maybe shock somebody else, but hey, I felt good about it. So let's say you got too close to me, and you grabbed me right here. So I'm really grab me tight, because I want them to know that I am like 5'4". I am not going to go down I cannot break that grip. And that's not even a really hard grip. This one really grab hard. And this one is just as hard for me. So what I do is grab me. I'm going to come in, because I know I need to be closer because of my height and my size compared to him. So I'm going to bring this down and this up. And I'm going to step on his toe at the same time. So this comes down and this comes up. Ah! And my elbow goes right across his face. And you can call it the windshield wiper, or it's a high block, low block. You like this? High block, low block. Do you know what the high block, low block is? There you go. Windshield wiper, yeah. Okay, grab me again. So what I'm going to do is, it's hard for me on this side, but I'm going to do it. Okay. So I'm going to come down and up like this. Ah! Let me do it the other side.
Okay.
That's the side I'm talking about. Ah! Okay, so this is if somebody really, you've let them get too close to you. Maybe they're a friend at school, or they're a friend at work, or an associate, or something that maybe at a party I got a little too friendly. So they come up and they go, hey. So, hey.
All right.
And I'm like, I don't think so. And I'm thinking being loud is a very big advantage for anybody, because that brings up your adrenaline, your voice. You have a lot of energy coming up. And if it was somebody I didn't know, I'd be like, call 911, I don't know you. So right here, my elbow's right here, but I'm not going to be offensive. I'm going to be defensive, and I'm going to run. Because what I teach is, because I'm, at a disadvantage sometimes with somebody in different heights, is how to get away. That's my whole theory on self-defense, is to run, is to get out of the situation, to call attention to it. And that's an offensive look at it. Defensive would be, again, going for another punch in, and that's just something that I think that we don't have to do, because our objective is self-defense is to move away from the situation. So I'm going to do it to you, and you can do it really slow. There you go. Really slow. No. This comes up, remember?
Okay.
There you go. So when he's teaching this, because this is the first time he's done it too, so I wanted to pick somebody that would help me that did not know the situation here. Here, pull that back up. They did not know the situation, or hadn't practiced this as much. So this comes down and this goes up. Now, since you're so taller than me and you're a little bit further away, you step in just a tiny bit. There you go. But if I were still needing some leverage, because I'm going to step in.
Okay.
And the reason why I'm going to step in is because it gets me closer, and then I have more, I want to say, strength in this area, because I got to come up above the bend of your elbow, and I have to get this is up underneath, kind of where the bend of your elbow and your elbow is. So I got to get in closer that way, right? And then I move on. So these are things that, since we're doing it on tape, you can do them really slow. You can practice with someone, and there is a great book, by the way, with the library, several great books with the library. One I particularly care for is, it's a hard copy, and it's a yellow book, bright yellow, and it's just titled Self-Defense for Women. And it has all of these moves in there. These moves are practiced by the police. They're practiced by all sorts of self-defense and martial artists. They're very basic, but very basic is good for anybody, just to learn basic moves in order to do some self-protection. And you can learn these step-by-steps in those books at the library. And I think now they might have, even the library has books that you can order via kind of a VCR or something like that, so that you can even look at it at home and practice and run the tape over back and forth and just kind of figure that out, how you can do that with someone else. So another one then would be if somebody were then to grab you, which is this is a very not a desirable position to be in. If they grab you around the neck. Mm-hmm. Okay, now this is something this is a very dangerous grip. I mean, this is something that could definitely be life-threatening for you because they have you around the throat. Maybe it's just more closer to the throat or the shoulders or around the throat. And the first thing you want to do is to get if there's any pressure on your throat at all, mm-hmm. right? So for me, I'm going to do that high block, low block again, and I'm going to step in, and I'm going to do the same thing. But this time, I'm going to grab it and I'm going to hold this down and I'm going to push down like this. Because when I push down, I bring him in and I push down right here on his forearm. And then I get like this. That takes that grip off my throat. Okay? So let's move, and I'll move this way and have you do it like that. Mm-hmm. Okay? So right here, I'm going to come down because he's got the throat on my throat. I'm going to come down right in here. I'm going to take my forearm, and then this arm's going to come up, high block, low block, and I'm going to come in towards him, right here, just like this. Do you feel like I did, is that good?
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
Okay, very good. Do it again. Very good, very good. So, I mean, it doesn't get you right around the throat, too, because I've got you real good. There you go. All right. So it's like this. And women need to have a little bit more leverage on how you do this. So that's why you're going to come with your forearm in here. And this is above the elbow. This other forearm is above the elbow. You're going to come in here like you're going to step on this toe. So you can almost just step on this toe because you're going to go this way. So when you do it around the throat, and this is one that you can really practice with someone that you trust, your parents or your spouse, your mother, your dad, your spouse. I'd rather, kids to kids not practice this without an adult present because I don't want anybody choking anybody because this is something that, you want to know that you can do right and somebody that's doing it with you is responsible, okay? All right. And I know that once you got to this point, I knew that I was in trouble, right? Mm-hmm. I knew that I had let my guard down, that I had not looked at my peripheral vision, and that I had put myself in a position that I know at the time then that I was in trouble. So in those points that you are in that situation, a lot of things then race through your minds. How do I get out of this? And my biggest thing is to find your voice. Find your voice. Be loud. Be loud. We learned ki-ups, and it's a Korean word. It's a yell. Ah! Which probably would scare somebody if they were just looking at me and, oh, what are you doing? Screaming in my face. Right. And anything to really shock somebody. So other shock measures would be somebody, if they grab you right here, mm-hmm. and they're looking straight at you, right? Mm-hmm. Is you blow in their face, right? Sorry, you know me, so but I blow in his face and his eyes blink. Mm-hmm. If his eyes blink, it gives me a moment. Something like that, a spit in the face. I know that, during this particular time and place where we have COVID and that kind of thing, we don't suggest that with your practicing with someone, but, those are the kind of diversions that you can use. If it's a life-death situation, I would spit in their face. I would blow in their eyes. I would scream in their face and those kind of things. Those are definitely tools that we can use that help us, number one, gain our momentum and feel like we are doing something, because the moment you give up is not a moment of somebody that can overpower you. Now, as far as young kids, doing this, I don't know that very many young kids come into this kind of situation. you know, this is kind of a situation that before I talk with parents to be very careful when you have young kids talking about this, but I do want kids to feel that they can learn this and that they can feel empowered. But even if the kids do this, you know, this seesaw, I tell them it's called a seesaw, and it just looks like a seesaw, kind of like a ripple, a wave, or whatever. So for children, it's easy for them to grab their hands and maybe do the wave, because then it's easy to remember and to do the wave. And the parents could practice with them, and the older they get, they can really definitely get more, you know, better at it and stronger at it and such. Now, I do like, though, the kicking of the shins for the kids. And also, if somebody's got me like this, and especially if we're in a situation where we're moving, is to get as close as I can to trip him up. Especially if I'm a young child, I'm going to trip him up. I want to take you down, but this might be kind of hard for us to do that. So, tripping him up with my feet to where he goes down, I go down, and hopefully I can, you know, wiggle out and run.
Take off, yeah.
Take off. I want kids to wiggle out and run.
For sure.
So definitely tangle them up in their feet. Kick them in their shin. And we do have the groin. The groin's an okay area to do the knee to. So if we're like this, and I'm like this, I've got my knees to do the groin. Okay, and then there's another one. And I want everybody to do this. Yeah, this is called I call it an upward punch. And then why is a punch? Is it punches on the heel of your hand. You know, your palm heel. So like if somebody were to grab me right here, and I can't do this or something, and it's really in close, I'm going to go straight up. I'm going to go like this. I'm going to go straight up and hit this chin, or even for the nose, come straight down, and I'm going to go for that Adam's apple. So it's straight up, down, and Adam's apple. So we come down to the poke in the throat. So we come back to the chicken poke. So right here, chicken poke. So just stand there.
You don't like that.
Yeah, oh, you don't like this part. Straight up, down, straight down, poke in the throat. Yeah, because if you do that to yourself right here at home, don't do it hard, because this will make you cough, and this can do some damage. Because this is your Adam's apple, you know, if you get a hit, you go, because it just kind of takes your breath away. Well, that's what you want to do to somebody if they grab you. So if somebody grabs me, you can grab me with the bear hug. Yeah, like this. I don't want to be in a bear hug. And I really can't get away from him. So I'm going to go straight up like this. And I'm going to come down and go like that. Because I can do that and just keep holding on until, as I can do this, because I have my hands right here, besides the fact that I can just scrape all the way down. Stretch. So we'll just sit here, stand here, and just go and straight down, and then poke. Poke. Okay, so you can do it to me slow. So just go straight up. Poke. Right here. Thank you. So I like that one if it's a very close in type situation. Let's talk about coming from behind. Now, I wasn't paying much attention. I let somebody come up behind me. Ah! Because I can feel that, even if you have two hands. Doesn't matter which side. Ah! So as you want to turn around, I'll do it to you. Just come straight down. So you come straight down with the elbow. I'll do it to you one more time. Very good, very good. So you do it to me again. I really like this one. It's fun. Ah! Call 911. All right, so let's do the one where you do the chokehold. Okay, this is definitely a situation where they're going to take you somewhere. So I might face this way. Okay, so what I want to do is the chokehold is definitely a bad thing, right? So I want this off of my neck. So I'm going to take this hand, I'm going to grab, if I can, the thumb, and if not, I'm going to grab the hands. And my elbow straight out. I have to have leverage. I'm going to step back. My elbow's going to come down. At the same time, both elbows are going to come down. And this is going to roll that off my neck. I have my elbow right here is free. It goes right into your diaphragm as hard as I can, but not today. Okay, so we got it here. Now see, I could do that to you, but I'm pretty short, and I think it would look silly. But you get the gist of it, right? So let's do it to me again. It's fun. Okay, so I got my elbows out. Somebody comes up behind me, and they're going to pull me this way. Now I can trip them up with my feet. I can do that, and we could go down. But I don't know if I necessarily want to be on the ground with you. Sorry, sir. And if I can, I might take a bite out of your forearm right there. So this is definitely a self-defense where you're in it to win it, right? Okay. So these are the ones that, as adults, you would definitely practice together with an adult. You can talk to your teenagers about this kind of chokehold. It's something that, even teenagers learn in wrestling. We do have a lot of wrestling classes right now. Well, not right now, but they came about just last year for girls and boys, but girls were able to wrestle in high school, which is a really good thing, so they can learn some of these wrestling moves, because that is kind of a wrestling move as well. Talking about getting away on these kind of things, when I'm coming down and this, and then mostly I'm on every one of my moves, I come down straight. I want to move, I want to push them away. I want to use my body as I go this way to push you that way. Okay? So I can project off you. I can lunge off you this way. So you can even just grab me here. Ah! It's very simple. It's a very simple move. One more time. Ah! Ah! It's fun. It's fun to push you. So, it's just pushing them away, lunges you away here, and you run. You get out of the situation. I'm not going to sit here and think, oh, well, what do I do now? Yeah. You run and you scream. Because you run and you scream, they're not going to be, really, they want out of the situation too, because you're not an easy target. But let's say they run after you, and they knock you down. Oh. Now, I'm hoping this would be okay, that they can see this. So you come down on me, just kind of straddle me. Okay, and just kind of sit on me. That's fine. You can sit on me. I won't break, I promise. Okay, I'm going to grab my hair, because I don't want to be knocked out. Just act like you're going to punch me. Mm-hmm. See, because I don't want to be punched, right? Mm-hmm. Yay, no. Okay, so come back down one more time. So, one more time. Right. This is a jiu-jitsu move, and it's in a lot of those books. And what I do is just sit all the way down on me. Okay, there you go. Like both your knees. There you go. There you go. And then come down further. Okay. Right. Like that, okay? And I'm like this. Mm-hmm. All right. So the one thing that could come down just a tiny bit like this. Okay, there you go. Because I'm going to put my hand right here. Mm-hmm. I'm going to take this foot and I'm going to wrap it around your foot. Mm-hmm. And then I'm going to bring this hip up and I'm going to push this direction. The same way. Now I'm 63 years old. That was, you felt that, didn't you?
Yeah, it's definitely reversible move.
It's a very easy move. Okay. So that's a jiu-jitsu move, and that is That is something that I think all young women should, that's an easy move. All young women should learn to do that on the ground with definitely their fathers or mothers or their siblings. Those are kind of the, if you get knocked down. Now, move back just a little bit. Let's say you knocked me down. Okay, and I know that I've got my feet up. My feet are a defense. All right? Let's say you grab that foot. I've got this foot. That's all right. Just put it down. Just put it down. I've got this foot. I'm going to kick. I've got both these feet. I'm going to kick you, right? Or I'm going to scoot out of it. It's called shrimping. Shrimping out of it. I'm swearing my elbows won't feel it tomorrow. You just shrimp out of it. Those are the things that you learn to do. Because you have the adrenaline going. So your adrenaline's going. You're not going to feel being knocked down and shrimping out of it on concrete or something like that. It's going to feel, yay, victorious. Because your adrenaline's going to be going. I'm a believer in kicking and screaming. I will not go gentle. I will scream my head off. Always find that voice. Never be quiet. So we have talked about most everything. I love this. This is one of my favorites. The poking in the throat. Not one of yours, I can tell. Those kind of things. The other one is something that it's a little bit difficult to see, maybe on tape. But if someone, and these are for the boys, if someone's going to punch you, right? Let me go this way. Is it better this way? Okay. I'm going to punch you this way. Okay. So you grab me, like you're going to grab me. You're going to punch me with this hand, right? Maybe that's a good hand. Okay. So I know that I'm going to make my fist, come down with a hammer fist on his radial nerve right here. Okay? And I see that punch coming. I'm going to block it this way. Right? So I have his hand. If I want to do anything with it, I'm not going to. Because basically I'm going to hit his shoulder. I'm going to push him away. Because if this happens to you in school is it doesn't matter who throws the punch. If you throw a punch too, even if it's in self-defense, you're both out, right? This right here, somebody grabs you and they're going to punch you. That's an offensive move. I moved away. I moved away. One more time. So it's just this. It's just this. You come down like this and you push like that. So let me do it. Let's turn around and we'll do it this side so they can see on this side. So down like this, yeah? Like this, okay? But I put, instead of coming all the way up, which I could come all the way up. That's your punch. I could come all the way up. But what I really want to do is just move him away. So do the punch real fast. Okay, one more time. Real fast. Because I see this hand moving. And how I see that hand moving is I can see his core, and his core's right here, and I can see his shoulders move. So one more time. So it's really easy. So when you're practicing this kind of stuff, come down and up like this. Come down. And just see how fast you can do it. See if you can be Karate Kid or one of the other ones. I know that we have a lot of different karate people on TV. So the self-defense, like we talk about in the classes too, talk about getting into a car and looking at your surroundings when you get into a car. Let's say you're going out to the car by yourself, which you shouldn't be by yourself, but you could be walking out to the car from the center or somewhere where you have packages. You should always be aware of your situation. If you do not feel safe in going to that car, then you should call an adult. Say, somebody's up here not making me feel good. You go to the store manager, and you ask them for escort out to your car. You definitely pay attention to where you're at. Have your phone ready to dial 911 if you want, but I would definitely have my keys in my hand to go too, because in your keys you have what? The emergency fob. Yeah, your emergency fob. Right? I'd push that because that's going to cause everybody's attention to you. If somebody wants your car and your packages, don't get in the car with them, just throw them down and run. If they say, I want you in the car with me too, I'm throwing my stuff down and I'm running the opposite direction. Because I have a better chance out here than in a car in a later place with you. Right. So I throw it down and I run. Car keys, girl, car keys. I'm going. So nothing is worth your life, not that nice pair of jeans you just bought, or that Gucci purse or whatever you have. You leave it and you run, right? Also too, I'm talking about young mothers getting in their cars with their children, and they get in their cars and they put your daughter, your son in the back seat, right? So you're out here, here's the car, you're out here, and you're halfway in the car putting your child in their seat. You are so vulnerable. This is such a vulnerable position. Somebody comes up to you, what are they going to do? They're going to push you in, or they're going to say, I have a gun or something, move away, we're going to get in the car, blah, blah, blah. I personally would never go anywhere in a second location with somebody, so if I stepped away, I would shut the door, I have my fob, I'd throw it as far as I could throw it, and I'd run around to the other side and get in and try to lock the door. I would do anything, and that's the way I am. I plan those kind of things. It's just kind of something that goes on in my head. But I want people then to just not be in this position. So my daughter and I said, what do you do then? Instead of being in this position where he can come up behind me, okay, I go in, we figured it out, we just go in through the other side, we open up the door, we get in and we shut the door and we lock the door. We have the fob, we put her daughter in the car seat, blah, 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 and then if my daughter can't climb over, because she has really long legs, she has her fob, she gets out, and she gets in her side. So you get out, you get in and get your side. And the thing about that is, you have a vulnerable position when you have a young child, and you're in charge of their safety. So you have to think about your safety as well. Her safety, his safety, your safety.
It's on you.
Yes. So, those are ways to think about doing it. It's like, oh my God, that's such a hassle. But I'm telling you, a lot of women have felt the same way and unfortunately had some bad outcomes with that, right? Yeah. So those are kind of the things that you're thinking about when you're getting into your car. Last thing I want to talk about is kids going to and from college. And let's say they're going to MU, rah-rah, M-I-Z-Z-O-U. And that's where my daughter went. So when she got in that car, I had her call me at a certain mile marker. And the mile markers are those green things along the highway that have the numbers on them. That's a mile marker. So we had 2 mile markers that she would call me at. And if she didn't call me at the mile marker, I was calling her. And if she didn't answer, I gave her 3 rings and I was in the car. And that's how we did. We did that for 3 years, and it was a great system. It's just something that, and she would do that with me when I go on vacations. She still does that with me. Mom, what mile marker are you at? And it's a game we play, but it's a fun game. It's a sweet game. It's a loving game, and it's a I care about you game. So that's what we make self-defense in our house. We make it, I care about you. This is fun. Let's practice that. And you know that's how it is too in your household. So, but this has just been a unique situation during these times, and I give thanks to my partner here. Thank you very much for helping me, and I thank the Mid-Continent Libraries for having us again. I could sit here and talk for many, many moons, but as they usually go, it's our hour time. And if you ever come to one of my classes in the libraries, I have a great lot of fun with everybody, and I have gotten to know several people, and I do like to do other things for the community, Girl Scouts, Boy Scouts, anything like that, church groups. I am older. I'm not afraid of my age. At 63, I know some things with a cane. So I will, you know, I have taught older adults with a cane how to use a cane for poking and smacking and hitting on that shin, and then turn around and poke you in the eye with it. So those are kind of the fun things that you can learn with self-defense, and a lot of studying too online and in the libraries. So anyway, thank you very much. God bless you.